On this episode, we'll be jumping back in time to July 5th of 2022. This was a fun episode, letting some big hitters from different distilleries battle it out, while we were still maturing our palates at the time. I believe, if I remember correctly, Tyler was out this episode because his wife had COVID and he was trying not to bring the COVIDs into my house. So, you'll get to see another episode with Banks back in the day while he was still alive and hear a good one. So, tune in. Listen in as Brett and Dude let the big boy distilleries do battle between their 10-year bourbons. Eagle Rare, Henry McKenna 10-year bottled and bond, and Russel's 10-year all face off. See who comes out as the winner in this episode of The Bourbon Hunters. But before we get started, do you like bourbon gear? Help support our podcast by going to www.bourbonhunters.com, picking out a good shirt, maybe a Kinsey Dram with Bourbon Hunters on it, and sending some money our way. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join us on our hunt for great bourbon. Reward yourself and sit back, grab a pour, kick up your feet, and enjoy. Welcome to another episode of the Bourbon Hunters. I'm Dude Poor. I'm joined by
Brett Bryan.
And again, surprise, surprise, we are joined by Banks, my dog, but not by Tyler.
We'll get you a headset, buddy.
Yeah, his wife had the COVIDs, and so he went to Michigan to avoid the COVIDs, even though he just had the COVIDs. And he probably gave her the COVIDs.
I like the plural on that, the COVIDs.
Yeah, he probably gave her the COVIDs. And I think Mexico gave him the COVIDs. And I just got back from Mexico, so we'll see if I get the COVIDs.
See if you get the COVIDs?
We'll see. So, today we are doing a head-to-head-to-head of 3 different 10 years. We've got a Russell's 10 year, we've got Eagle Rare, which is 10 years, and we've got McKenna, which is the only one that's a single barrel of the group, and it's bottled in bond, so it's a little stronger. But 3 10 years, Heaven Hill versus Wild Turkey versus...
You know what else you could do as I'm looking?
We can finish the last one versus Buffalo Trace. Go ahead.
But I'm looking at your shelf. There's the Rebel 10 year as well sitting there.
It's a weeded. We could do that.
We could do it at the end. We'll see how we feel.
So
I was just eyeballing that, and I was like, that's another.
I say we do that at the end if we feel like it.
If we feel like it, we'll just play it by ear.
It's gonna be a long evening. I didn't want to get us plastered.
And that's kind of how I felt about stuff too. I brought my ginormous water with like one of those IV hydrations in it to kind of like help, you know, stay hydrated throughout the evening.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Sorry, I'm getting, and this is going to happen, I think, throughout this episode. But I'm getting stuff, texted to me and stuff like that because of the party. So
understandable.
So anywho, we've got these 3 head-to-head. We're starting off with a little bit of a primer from Jason C's Mash and Drum Pick Chocolate Wasted. I want to get chocolate wasted. It is a Starlight Distillery, Carl T. Huber, double oaked. And I had a little bit of this before you came. I'll tell you what, this is outstanding. So and it is chocolate.
It smells like a candy bar, is what it reminds me of.
Yeah, it does. Like a dark, almost like more of a darker chocolate candy bar, but still. But the taste, I'll tell you, it's chocolate through and through, man. It is good. I
almost get like a little, and I haven't taken a sip yet, but almost like a nutty, like almost like a Snickers would smell, or like a caramel. Like that's why I think it reminds me of a candy bar. But man, this smells fantastic. If it tastes anywhere near this, it'll be fabulous. Oh, that's really good. And then some of that nuttiness comes through too.
Yeah, there's
for
some
me
nuttiness
on the palate.
Yeah,
but it's very candy bar.
It's like a chocolate covered nut or something. But it's mainly it is very candy bar esque.
It reminds me of, I don't eat a lot of candy, but it reminds me of a Snickers because there's caramel, there's like the nut in it, and then like the chocolate.
Yeah,
that's what it exactly reminds me of.
You like my shirt, by the way?
I do. Just here to get bang, or just here to bang.
And it's got a firework on it, like a little.
It'd be better if it just said that and nothing else.
Yeah, Trini goes, you're married, right? And I'm like, this is a fireworks shirt.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't say who you're here to bang.
Right, and I said I live here. I'm here. You live here. I bang you, so,
I think it's reasonable.
I think that's what is that, the transitive property or something?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something to that.
See, I went with the classic, like, Hawaiian T-shirt. Like, that's a very 4th of July.
I wore those all on my vacation, so
Yeah.
I'm Hawaiian T-shirt out for the moment.
It's a good, like, vacation shirt.
It
You get
is.
too hot, you can
no
unbutton
one,
it a
no
little bit.
one wears them on vacation either, which
Really?
is no, they all do.
Oh, okay. I was like, really? That's odd.
You can tell the dads
Fucking
that are
tourists.
white and
Yeah.
from the U.S., they wear fucking Hawaiian shirts.
Yes.
It's like, I'm on vacation. Like, we don't know that. Your pasty white skin in Mexico doesn't give you away. So, all right. Another thing I want to talk about today, I've got 2 decanters now. One I've got filled with just a daily drinker. It's Buffalo Trace.
Mm-hmm.
And so when people come over, they can feel fancy drinking out of it, and I can tell them it's Buffalo Trace. They can get excited. And then I've got a second decanter that's supposed to be really untouched. Kind of like yours, it's going to be my infinity bottle. But here's my question.
Has a cool topper on it.
It does. But it's twisted. It's almost looks like it's chiseled out of ice. It's a really neat. It's from Home Wet Bar.
Okay.
No plug. They don't do anything for us, but homewetbar.com.
Okay.
They have some great stuff. All of the stuff that I have here that's fancy is from Home Wet Bar. I mean, to be honest, they've given us so much stuff.
I think I've seen some of your stuff upstairs that you have from them.
Yeah. Now, I've got whiskey stones. I've got a whole bunch of glasses that were with our names of the P's on them. All these. What are these called again? We don't.
Those are
out of these.
Kinsey Drams.
No,
Glencairns.
Well, this one's a Kinsey Dram, but the Glencairns that all say P on them are from there as well. But yeah, they're a great little place. If you don't want anything like too custom, they'll do like initials. They won't do like a full saying or a logo or anything.
Yeah.
At least they didn't last I checked. But everything we've got in here that's pretty fancy is from them. But I want to do an infinity bottle with that. And I'm thinking, so, I belong to Mash and Journey.
Mm-hmm.
I also belong to Bourbon Enthusiast.
Mm-hmm.
Love all their picks. I was thinking about making it a barrel pick infinity bottle.
I like that idea. I think you need to stick with the theme, though. And because, like, with me, I didn't put ryes in mine or something like that.
So yours are all wheats?
They're not all wheated, but they're, I
mean
like,
wheat bourbons.
They're all a bourbon. They could be
wheated or rye bourbons, but no rye whiskeys.
Correct. Yes.
Gotcha. And no wheat whiskeys.
Correct.
Yeah. So I was going to do all bourbon for sure, but I was thinking, a lot of people just take like the last ounce or two or whatever and put it in after every bottle they kill. I was thinking about just doing an ounce and a half, 2 ounces, whatever it ends up being. Probably just an ounce and a half out of each. Not out of each, but out of my favorite barrel picks. And just see what happens.
Yeah, doing all barrel picks is cool.
But I'd log them, I'd keep a little log.
Yeah. No,
Not a log in the sense that you think I mean log.
I wish I would have kept a log because
I know,
I
you have no
clue,
idea.
No fucking clue.
And yours was
what's
outstanding.
in there. It is very good. I know. I was shocked by that.
It was so good. Do you like our little festive freedom lights around my...
I do.
Yeah, little bar
It's like
cart.
Christmas in July.
Yeah. It is pretty cool. My wife does... One thing she does... she does lots of things well. But one thing she does extremely well is she decorates the house.
She does.
It's
always decorated very nice.
And it's funny because we've got the market on Halloween and Christmas. She now does like a harvest. She's expanding. She's almost like a virus. So she's added now 4th of July to her repertoire. She has not done St. Patrick's Day yet. So like it feels like we have decorations up more for things than we don't throughout the year. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because once harvest starts around, I'd say September, we're decorated until probably a week or two after Christmas, if not, 2 or 3 weeks after Christmas. And then 4th of July is for a month. So it's like there's only maybe, 7-8 months out of the year we don't have decorations up at the most.
But it's fun to do that stuff.
No, it is. But like the
different decor. And
what's not fun is the wreck of the house during the setup.
Well, I'm sure it's a lot of storage too.
Yeah. So like all that storage
shit
out in my garage is almost all decorations, man.
Damn.
I mean, it's like 80% of that is decorations for different holidays. And so the worst part is you have to get out the decorations you're going to use, take all the stuff that's currently decorating the house, put them in those. So you have to get everything out of the decoration boxes, put the stuff from the other decoration boxes into that. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, that's a pain in the ass.
It is.
But, at the end of the day, it looks like it's all worth it because it does look really nice.
So here's a little, haven't told Trina how many people I've invited here today.
Oh, shit.
But she knows a lot of people aren't coming because they're out of town.
Mm-hmm.
But then I've invited a lot of other people too. So She just doesn't know that. Like, she doesn't know Jason C is coming or was invited. She doesn't know that Aaron, my partner at the gym, is invited. Janetti.
Oh.
My partner at the
Well,
gym.
the way you said that, I was like, huh?
The guy who owns the other half of the gym with
No,
me.
I totally understand that. Just,
So takeaways real quick of our primer of this Starlight Mashing Journey.
This gets better the more that I drink.
Mm-hmm.
Even when I come back to revisit the smell.
This is dangerous.
The smell is, I'm so glad I got this.
It's dangerous.
Because, I was on the fence, and not, I'd never had Starlight, right? I'd never had their double oak.
I've got
anything.
like 5 bottles of it.
And I was like, it had a good price on it. It wasn't bad at all.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm just going to buy one. And it sold out quick, very quick.
Mm-hmm. Well, I did a pick with Starlight and Bourbon Enthusiast, and I never ended up buying those barrels because it was right when I was doing all this other stuff. They came out right at the worst time for me financially. I was like, fuck, I just can't do it. I mean, I could have, but I couldn't. You know what I mean? So it was just
I feel that way about certain things too.
It was a pain in my ass that I didn't get to partake in the one that I actually helped pick. Well, I think there was 2.5 barrels he did.
That's how I did with the double oaked Woodford. We did that barrel pick with
I can't believe you weren't going to.
I didn't get it.
Yeah, it's so good.
I'll have to try it tonight. But
I've got it back there.
The last time I had, and I know that's a store pick, obviously, or us pick, whatever.
Barrel pick, yeah. And we were part of it. I just can't believe you didn't.
I just didn't like it that well.
I don't know what the hell you were thinking.
I don't know. I mean, it could have been like what I had eaten.
See, that's a home wet bar.
Yeah, I like that.
Glencairn.
I like just like a single like insignia, initial type thing like that.
No, it seems fancy.
Yeah, I have
fancy.
So back in the day,
I don't know where I got this blank Glencairn.
Who the hell knows? Someone could have got it for you, or you may just picked it up one day.
Or they brought it themselves and left it.
That's true.
Maybe, I don't know.
But I had
Do we want to start with this, or do we want to start with? I say we start with Eagle Rare.
Okay.
Only because I've been drinking Eagle Rare nonstop for a week. I'll get into that in a second. But go ahead. Back in the day, you had what?
Oh, I was drinking bourbon, and I didn't really do Glencairns or Kinsey Drams or anything. I would just drink out of like a rocks glass. But I got some really cool Waterford crystal glasses that are a rocks glass.
Oh, yeah, I remember you telling me about
I just
that.
wanted to be on
I put it in the wrong
It's
one.
all good. I just wanted to be on it, and that's just, it's what it is. It's just to be. Sometimes less is more for me.
I hear you. So, all right. So we've got Eagle Rare, we've got McKenna 10-year single barrel, and we've got Russell's. We're going to start off with the Eagle Rare. So let's go ahead and pick that up real quick.
I'm gonna do a little palate cleanse in here.
Yeah, that's probably good idea. Let me do that too.
Palate cleanse / hydration.
All right. So, little background on Eagle Rare here. For me, anyway. This is no Eagle Rare background. This is Dude Pool background. So, just went to Mexico with my wife. It was our 15-year anniversary, and we had gone there for our 10-year anniversary. Bought in. It's our first time we could have really gone back since we bought in, because our son's just busy all the damn time, and he graduated, turned 18. If you follow the show, you probably already know that, but. So we finally had a summer where we weren't like taking him places, doing stuff, whatever it was, football practices, whatever it is, and we just went. And our anniversary just is middle of June, so we went. Weather was amazing. Traveled through Dallas on the way there. Picked that on purpose because I've heard they had a great duty free. And Tyler was poo-pooing the whole thing, saying, "Oh, you're not going to find anything. There's never anything good at the duty free."
That's Tyler's baseline.
I walk in, fucking Eagle Rare. And I was like wanting to buy 5 or 6 of them. I was like, fuck, but I don't know if I can get them home.
Right.
And so I was like, well, I'll buy 2. One to drink, one to
smash, one to stash.
One to smash, one to stash. And so I take them. They deliver them at the gate there in Dallas. They bring them to your gate as you're checking in to the flight. They don't let you walk out with them. And get on the plane, get to Mexico, get to our place. I've got 2 bottles sitting there staring at me, and I'm like, first day I don't even touch it. I'm like, down there I'm drinking Johnny Walker Black with a splash of 7-Up.
Yeah, let me ask you this: is this resort all inclusive, or drinks are provided?
No, it's all inclusive. But what they don't have is they didn't have any liquor in your room.
Okay.
And so, but here's the other thing I knew going to Mexico is the best they would have would be Makers.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but I just didn't feel like drinking Makers all week.
flagship shelf makers, right?
Yeah, and they would have Jim Beam and Jack Daniels and makers. So here was the problem. Every bar there had Jack Daniels and Jim Beam, but not every bar had makers. And I'm just like, well, you know, I'm taking Eagle Rare just in case. So I bought it, took it down there, and I didn't drink at the bar, or I didn't take anything I didn't open it for the first night. I was like, I'll wait, see what they have at the bars, and then if they don't have anything, I'll start drinking it.
Yeah.
First day I go to our pool bar. It's a swim up, bar, and no makers. All they had was Jim Beam and Jack, and then they had Johnny Walker Black. I was like, oh, I'll drink that. So I drink Johnny Walker Black on ice with a splash of 7-Up. Splash. And in fact, the first time he poured it, he filled it to the brim with 7-Up. I was like, no.
No mas.
So, real quick thing, it's all inclusive. They don't expect you to tip, but you can tip. And so the first day, I go up to I was like, hey, you going to be here for a few days? He's like, yeah. So I gave him a 20. And I'll tell you what, paid off in spades.
Absolutely.
Every time I walked up there, it would be packed at the bar. He would come straight to me.
That's nice.
So I let that ride for 2 days, came back 2 days later, gave him another 20. And then let that ride for 2 days, came back, gave him another 20. So, I gave him $60 in tips. From the amount of alcohol I drank, I probably killed 3 bottles of Johnny Walker and a bottle of Eagle Rare.
Yeah.
But that was the first time in a long time I had drank the same bourbon for a week's time. Finished a bottle of Eagle Rare. Didn't want to open the second one because I didn't want to travel with an open bottle.
No, I wouldn't either.
So real quick, let's before you start asking questions, let's nose this.
I love the smell of Eagle Rare.
Yeah, I like Eagle Rare. It's good. And this will be the first time I haven't had it with ice in a week because it was so hot. You have to ice it down. I mean, it's...
Yeah, no, I agree. When it's that hot, it's hard to drink.
Yeah, and it was so harsh.
A spirit like that out in the sun.
It was so harsh to drink it neat down there.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. It's like when I was in Jamaica, all they had was rum, pretty much, and so I was just drinking dark rum on the rocks.
I get it, yeah. And I love rum too. And I like a good sipping rum, if you can get a good sipping rum. And so what do you get on the nose?
It's definitely sweet. I get a caramel, I think it is.
Yeah, I get caramel on this, and I get a little bit of brown sugar. I'm going to dive into this, though, because we're 20 minutes into this already. We haven't even tasted a bourbon yet. Well, outside of the Starlight, I guess.
Yeah.
Now, I can tell.
Oh, it's that familiar Eagle Rare that I like.
Immediately, I can tell. I mean, we just came out of a Starlight that's 115 proof.
I was just getting ready to say the proof. I noticed immediately.
Yeah. So, I mean, immediately you recognize it's not a super high proof. This is a great sipping bourbon.
Which you did.
I did. and you love, the bottle, it's almost like a big wine bottle, but it's got the eagle coming down to grab something. But then if you look real close at the Eagle Rare wording, the top of the E on the eagle is actually an eagle's head.
I never noticed that.
And so, that's one of the things I just love. Just those little things. And then the back of it, gives you a little label and stuff like that. But I don't know. It's a 10-year, for now anyway, it's a 10-year-old bourbon. There's been talk about them potentially making it not a 10-year. But I'm just like, why?
Well, demand.
No, but that's what Buffalo Trace is for.
Yeah.
Agree. Eagle Rare should be a 10-year. It should stay a 10-year.
It should stay a 10-year.
Buffalo Trace is that, 5 to 8 year or something like that, and I know they're blends, so they could potentially still find the same flavor with an 8-year or 9-year to 12-year or something like that. And because it's a 10-year, you could be having some 12-year.
That's what I was getting ready to say as well. There's definitely things in here that are older than 10. That's just the youngest bourbon.
The youngest, yeah. So whenever any bourbon tells you how old it is, then if it says 10 years, for example, if it's a blend, it can have stuff in there that's older, but they have to list it as whatever the youngest thing in the bottle is. So if it's a 10-year, an 11-year, and a 15-year, they have to call it a 10-year.
Right.
Or if they're going to age state it, they have to call it a 10-year, I should say.
What else is cool about this bottle is it's etched. Where a lot of them have a label, this is etched into it if you feel on the outside of it there.
Yeah, I love the bottle. It's super simple. But you know what? It's a simple bourbon. It's nothing crazy. It's got some age to it. You get a little bit of oak. You get a little bit of caramel. You get a little bit of brown sugar. It's just
there's a little oak in there. You're right.
Yeah, it's 10 years old. It's going to have some oak. I mean, but it's not offensive. It's a super easy drinker. You know, and I like it. I can easily drink Eagle Rare.
There was a period, and I would have to go back and revisit the two back to back, just because of how I'm feeling, what I've eaten.
Yeah.
Many like your mood can change your taste and everything. But I was always picking Eagle Rare over Blanton's.
Well, I mean, Blanton's isn't 10 years old. So
It's
if you
not.
like a little bit of oak,
Mhm.
you're going to get a little bit more with the
Yeah.
Eagle Rare.
It doesn't get the hype of Blanton's because it doesn't have a horsey on top, but I was picking this over Blanton's, 9 times out of 10. Again, I haven't had Blanton's in forever just because it's not
Well, I've got
something
there.
I go to.
We can go to it if we want.
Eh,
And to be honest, I've had some amazing bottles of Blanton's.
yeah,
I've had some
agree.
so-so
Because
bottles
they're
of
single
Blanton's.
barrels,
Yeah.
agree, and they can change.
Right. So I'll tell you, when you go to Buffalo Trace, you do their tour, you finish with a tasting. They always do Eagle Rare. Well, first off, they start with their vodka, the Wheatley vodka.
That's a good vodka, too.
It is, yeah. Trina likes it. But they always do Eagle Rare. They always do Buffalo Trace in the opposite order: Buffalo Trace, then Eagle Rare, and then they finish with the Buffalo or the bourbon cream.
And then there's like a chocolate in there, too,
chocolate,
or something.
yeah. And then, but they also give you the root beer, and you can mix the.
Oh, yeah,
So they give you the
Freddy's root
bourbon cream
beer.
first, and then
Mhm.
tell you to mix the root beer in with it and finish with that, and it's outstanding.
I'm not a root beer person, but I can appreciate that it's.
I tell you, you can use orange soda, like a orange cream, and it gives you like a creamsicle. Oh God,
I can get down with that.
And I'll tell you, even if you're not a root beer fan, root beer with bourbon cream is outstanding. It's not root beer anymore. It's like a root beer float.
Yeah.
And it tastes amazing. But there's still hints of root beer, obviously. Takeaways from this. I
kind of summed it up for me earlier when it comes down to like Blanton's or Eagle Rare. If we're in a Buffalo Tracing, 9 times out of 10, I'm always picking
and this
Eagle
is half
Rare.
the price.
Yeah, it's half the price. It's easier to find.
It is easier to find, but
it's not easy to
actually,
find.
you know what? In Ohio, I think Blanton's is easier to find.
You think so?
Yes. Blanton's is here every other week. Every other week.
that's
Eagle
true.
Rare's maybe once every couple months.
Yeah, that's valid. That's probably why I don't drink it very often.
Yeah. I've got 3 bottles of it right now. And one
after
of those
tonight, it'll be 2. No, I'm kidding.
Well, maybe. It's 2.5 bottles technically, but one of them I just got from the duty free. I was down to 1.5, so I hadn't been visiting it much for that reason.
Yeah.
Went to the duty free in Dallas on the way to Mexico and got a couple, killed one, saved one. So now I've got 2.5 bottles.
This is a little like off topic of what we're currently talking about, but do you have a prediction of which of these 3 you're going to like the best?
I've never had the Russell's 10-year.
I haven't either. I always go for the single barrel.
Yeah.
It's funny that you say that. I'm a huge Wild Turkey fan.
I am a huge Wild Turkey fan,
I'm a big fan of all
surprisingly,
of these,
as much as I'm a Wild Turkey fan, and the fact that Russell's Reserve 10-year is readily available.
It is. It's on the shelf.
It's always on the shelf. Always. Right now, single barrel's not on the shelf.
I know.
And it used to always be on the shelf.
I was going to say the exact same fucking
thing. But for
thing.
it to be on the shelf, Eagle Rare's never on the shelf. They're the same product from different companies, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And why I've never had the Russell's Reserve 10-year, I have no idea. No idea.
I know why I haven't. For me personally, it's because when I had the single barrel, I kind of fell in love with it. I've said this several different times.
Well,
but
you might fall in love with the blend.
Yeah, this is true.
The blend's going to be more consistent.
I agree.
Usually, anyway.
But the Russell single barrel was the first, I don't want to call it like higher end, but non-shelfer that I bought. And then I was like, I don't know what it is, but I really like this.
No, Russell, I love Wild Turkey to begin with. Here's the thing about Henry McKenna, the 10-year.
People love it or hate it.
I've had some, well, here's the thing. The same people love them and hate them.
Yeah.
I've had some amazing single barrels. But some of them have been just, eh.
I haven't had one
and
I don't like.
This is a brand new, so I have no idea what to expect with this one. I've never opened this one. So two of these that we're trying tonight, I have never had.
Is this the Russells? I'm really fucking confused right now.
That's the Russells. You're holding the Eagle Rare.
Okay.
I'm not
I knew I was holding the Eagle Rare. I was just like, wait a minute.
I'm not pouring this yet. I'm
just letting it breathe.
I'm just getting it open. That's all. So, Eagle Rare. It's a buy. Whenever you see it, it's a buy.
Absolutely.
Especially because it's $30.
Okay, question. You're at Buffalo Trace. They allow you to buy one only.
Yeah.
There's a Blanton's and an Eagle Rare on the shelf. What do you buy?
Only because I have like 4 bottles of Blanton's right now.
You have one of each, we're going to say.
At home.
At home. You have one of each.
I don't know.
And you have the opportunity to grab one. What do you grab?
I'd probably still buy the Blanton's because I'm a fucking dumbass.
Well, you own it. That's all that matters. But you know what? Who cares? Why do people like Pepsi versus Coke? You know what I mean?
I can't stand Pepsi.
I don't drink pop. I don't like either one.
I don't like
do you
pop.
Want a knife?
I don't drink pop anymore either. But when I do, it's unless I have no other choice, it's Coke.
I can do a Sprite. Sprite or like a 7-Up?
It was the tax label that was throwing me up. It was tearing it up. Anyway, so let's go into this. Well, did you finish yours?
Yeah, there's just a sip left.
All right, we'll finish it. Shotgun that shit. Let's get into the...
I was just enjoying it.
No, I know. We can go back to it later.
Oh, yeah.
You're single this evening.
Oh, yeah.
I mean...
Oh, yeah.
You're without the pseudo-wife.
Ja.
Ja, man.
I mean, I wore my best Hawaiian shirt. What do you think?
But are you here to bang?
As the night goes on, these buttons are going to keep coming undone.
Yes, they are. I hope so. God, I hope so. For my sake. All right. So yeah, Eagle Rare. If you see it on the shelf anywhere, buy it. I bought it at Dallas Fort Worth for $40.
That's a good buy. It's normally like $35 at Buffalo Trace.
It's normally, I think, $35. Yeah.
But what's $5?
And Texas is one of those places. I think they don't have to follow the MSRPs. They're not a control state, so
they don't control shit in Texas.
Yeah, well, on purpose.
Yeah,
they believe in less government, which
I'm cool.
Is outstanding.
Yeah,
in most regard. Did you do a palate cleanser?
I did.
All right, I have not. So let me do that.
For some reason, I shook my water bottle.
You were about to ask me something. Was that the Eagle Rare question?
Oh no. So you were talking about you hadn't drank the same thing consistently for a while.
Never.
And so what I was going to ask you is, so then, throughout the week, we're going to say on a typical week you have one drink a night, right? Do you get a different bottle each night?
I might have the same thing for 2 nights in a row, but generally speaking, I just, for whatever reason, I've got all these bottles.
Obviously,
and I don't want to just focus on one, so I go through and I'm just like, I'm not kidding. Of all the things I do every day, I work out, I eat food, I have my jobs. The hardest decision I make every day is which bourbon am I going to pour that night? Well, I might pour 2 bourbons in an evening, 2 separate bourbons.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, but my point is I might do 2 different ones because it's the tough, and I'll come down here and I'll be like, fuck, fuck, shit. And I just look at all these bottles and I'm like, so I'll do these 2 tonight. So I'll have the first one, and then sometimes that first one is so good that I'm just like, damn, I'm staying with this one.
So I go through phases where I drank that fucking Russell's Reserve single barrel from Bourbon Enthusiast. It's delicious.
God, it's so good.
And so I've been drinking that like the last 3 or 4 days in a row. So I'll go through phases where
what I'm pumped about right now is Bourbon Enthusiast and Mash and Journey both have Russell's coming out.
And I'm getting both of them.
Right.
100%.
But I think Mash and Journey has multiples, and so does Bourbon Enthusiast. And Bourbon Enthusiast, I believe, has a Kentucky Spirit, which is the Wild Turkey single barrel.
Yeah, I will probably get the Kentucky Spirit over the Russell's Reserve.
No, you won't. Get them both.
Well, if I have the option to get both,
aren't
they going to be dropped at the same time?
Yeah, I think it's the same. It's the same drop, I believe.
If they let me get both, I'll get both. Absolutely.
You'll be able to get both, but you'll only be able to get one of each.
No, I'm cool with that.
If they're still available.
If they're still available, right?
That's why you go up a tier, man.
I know. I need to go up a tier. So this is no disrespect to Bourbon Enthusiast. I love their stuff, but recently some of their stuff I haven't been too fond of.
Like what? Well,
the Wilderness Trail, I'm not a fan of it.
I didn't buy Wilderness Trail because here's the thing. I've been doing this long enough that I know this is not a knock on Wilderness Trail. I've had some Wilderness Trail that I thought was outstanding.
Same. I've had some that I thought was good too.
But Wilderness Trail as a whole is not really my taste profile.
Yeah.
So when I see stuff like that, if I'm on the fence, I'm just like, I'll skip it.
And then the Yellowstone was the other one that I got, and just not a big fan of that Yellowstone.
And again, Yellowstone is a hit or miss for some people.
Yeah. Just not, I
didn't get the Yellowstone, and I didn't get the Wilderness Trail, so I have not had any bad picks from Bourbon Enthusiasts at this point.
And most, all the Old Forester stuff has been fantastic from them.
Old Forester, you cannot go wrong.
Yeah, the Taconic is fantastic.
And they've got that coming, and so does Mash and Journey. I'm so excited.
They did an Elijah Craig single barrel from Bourbon Enthusiast that I have that is, I don't drink it very often because it's so good.
But it's not a barrel proof either. It's just a regular.
No, it's like a 90 proof, I think.
Whatever their regular is, 94 or something.
Something like that, but it's a single barrel of that, and it's fucking delicious.
It is delicious. That is the correct word. Oh. All right, let's nose this Russell's. This is the Russell's 10-year. Neither of us have had this before, so this is going to be new
so
new frontier.
I almost said a phrase, and I have to rephrase how I say this, but I smell a lot of nut coming off of this. I almost said it's a nut explosion is what I started to say, and I'm like, God, no.
I already had one of those this morning. My wife was not there.
But
no one was there, to be fair. It was just me.
It smells like I'm putting my face in a bag of like peanuts at a ballpark. You know what I mean?
I like how you just gloss over the
I
fact
did.
that I'm trying to say that I beat off this morning.
I'm trying to get back on track from all the nut jokes.
all the nut explosions.
I started to say, God, it's a nut explosion. Then I was like, don't say that.
Look at this callus.
It's her left hand, too.
No, that's not what that's wrong. I was joking.
God, I hope not.
I got really rough with myself. I was a bad boy.
So you're a bad boy.
Max is like, what? I'm not bad.
He's like, I'm not a bad boy. No, buddy, you're not a bad boy.
I wish we could put headphones on him and he wouldn't like freak out. And we could just hear him like breathing into the... He is such a good dog. So I was talking to Tony today. He listens to our podcast and he was like, I was talking about Banks and he's like, yeah, you guys were talking about how old Banks is getting. He's like, that's going to be a sad day. Because like everyone loves Banks. Banks is just such a good dog. He's so laid back. He wants to hang out with us. Look at him. He's just laying here with us.
He just wants to be with the guys.
He does. He's such a good
boy. He is.
All right. Knows this. What do you get?
Just nut explosion, remember? That's what started this whole conversation.
Right. Did you get anything else?
It's almost all peanut for me right now.
I mean, that's pretty typical of a wild turkey type of, nose.
There is something else in the back.
I almost feel like there's like an orange or
an orange zest, maybe?
Yeah, maybe like that. Yeah, orange zest. That's a good... Because it's just like it's almost like a hint of orange. Now that's different, but good. The nut comes through, peanut.
Yeah, lots of peanut in this.
And it's almost like a peanut dust, like on the shells.
Yeah. That's why I said it's like putting your face in like a bag of peanuts from the ballpark.
Yeah, yeah. But like putting your tongue in the bag of peanuts.
Yeah.
Like that's what it tastes like.
Do you ever eat the shell? Like not eat the shell, I'm sorry. Do you ever put the whole shell in your mouth?
I know some people actually eat the shell. I have a friend that eats the shell.
I don't. I'll put the whole shell in my mouth sometimes.
Just to get some of the salt.
And get the salt and stuff off of it and then crack it and then eat the peanuts. Yeah.
I've done that before. No, this is completely different. Completely different than the Eagle Rare.
It is.
There's a little bit of a citrus note somewhere in here that I'm not 100% sure of what it is. But holy shit, this is different, completely different. And I'm not getting the oak right now. But
now the proof on this is 90 proof, and that's the same for the Eagle Rare.
Yep. We're going to bump up to 100. No, it's 100. It's bottled and bond.
Oh, it is bottled and bond. You're right.
So it'll be 100 proof.
But I like that they're all like close to the same proof.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's nothing that's like terribly off the charts proof wise. They're all at least in the same range. Yeah, I mean, this is good. I don't know that I like it better than Eagle Rare yet.
I was going to say the same.
I think Eagle Rare for me might still be ahead, but I'm just trying. I
agree.
And now, granted, this is a brand new open.
Correct.
We just cracked it.
It hasn't breathed or anything.
It hasn't had any chance to get any oxidation. But that's kind of how you get it when you first open them. So, I mean, what are you going to do? The nose. Yeah. Are you getting any citrus or no?
No, I am. That's why I said to me it's like an orange zest, though. I don't know how to describe it other than that.
I'm trying to see if I pick that up on the palate, and I think I get a little bit.
Power of persuasion, I do. I wouldn't have came up with that without you mentioning it.
No, some Appalachian fucking grammar
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what's weird? My left nair.
Nair?
Yeah, that's what it is. Each individual nostril is a nair.
Fair enough.
I get a lot more orange.
Well, were you with us when we did the Heaven Hill taste? And they said that your nostrils change whichever one is the dominant nostril every like 20 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, you only notice that something's, because you only notice it when you have like you're stuffy, right, and one's clogged.
Yeah,
that's how you notice it. But your body switches between each nair.
Which one's dominant? Nair. Damn it! Now that I know that fucking word, I'm not gonna get that shit out of my head. You asshole.
I'll be here all week. Thanks.
I'll be here all week.
Speaking of comedians, I saw Tom Segura at the Palace Theater in Columbus here.
Yeah.
I don't know, it may have been a month ago. Holy shit, I was laughing so hard. That guy is hilarious. Like, I don't know if people listening are comedy fans, but if you are not, you should watch some Tom Segura. He is hilarious. And, like, some comedians, like, they laugh at their own jokes, and they, you know, they start, like, you know, laughing before they even, like, finish a joke and this and that.
That actually kind of makes me laugh sometimes, too, though.
He's so straight-faced, though. Like, he'll say these things, and he's so straight-faced, you're just like, oh, my God. And he went on this whole rant about how, and I'll make this quick, but he went on this whole rant talking about, like, so he lives in this, like, nice neighborhood, right, because he's a successful comedian, and his neighbor comes up to him, and he's like, hey, you're a comedian, right? And he's kind of like, yeah. He's, like, out walking his dog, and he's like, the neighbor guy says, where do you think the term motherfucker came from? He's like, you don't think someone actually, like, you know. And he was like, don't know, man, just trying to, like, walk my dog. And then he's like, you think daughterfucker exists? And then he talks about, like, walking away, and he was like, by the way, don't shop at Petco, whatever you do. I guess it was like the CEO of Petco is what he was saying, is his neighbor that was saying all this weird shit.
What the fuck? That's hilarious.
It was, just for him to tell it, though, he's hilarious, man.
Oh, my God. That's funny. I love seeing comedy.
Comedy? Yes.
I have not gone to a comedy show in a while because I'm so worried that I'm going to spend the money on it and they're going to just talk about political bullshit
shit,
the whole time. And I don't want to hear that. That's not why I want to go to a comedy show, for you to fucking gaslight your political views one way or the other. I don't care which side you're on. That's not what I want to go to a comedy show for.
Agree. And I had a bad experience with that.
If you want to go and make fun of a president or some political views, that's fine. But don't go up there and then jump on a soapbox. That's not what I'm paying for.
Agree.
This isn't a political rally. This is a comedy show.
Right. So when I went to Bill Burr, he did political stuff, but he made fun of both sides.
Right, and that's fine.
And it was like a
the way he does
thing.
it, but it's not a political stand-up.
Yeah.
It's a stand-up that makes fun of political things, and that's fine.
And he made fun of all races, which I think is funny, right? And we're like, we need to do that. Like, we need to be able to, like, break down barriers, make fun of each other.
I agree. We've talked about that on this before.
Yeah, 100%. And he did that very well, of like making fun of everyone, of making fun of both political sides.
Right. And I don't have a problem with these political views from these comedians. That's fine. If you have your political views, and I'm sure they all do.
Oh, yeah.
That's great. But there should be a disclaimer when you are buying a ticket that says, okay, this guy is a hardcore liberal and he likes to talk about it in a show, or he's a hardcore conservative and he talks about it in a show. I don't want to go to those.
I don't either.
I want to go to a show for a comedy show to get away from that shit.
Agree.
Not to fucking have it put in my face for another hour.
Yeah. And like little things I'm cool with, like a joke here, a joke there. I'm okay with that. But when I had a bad experience at the Funny Bone with that.
Yes.
This chick did like
that's why
her whole
I don't
skit.
go anymore. I haven't gone since COVID started.
Yeah.
Because that's about when all this shit started happening, where they just start gaslighting now for an hour, and they take the one exception to that. And I don't agree with all his political stuff, but he's funny as hell, and he finds a way to make it funny. Is Dave Chappelle?
Oh yeah,
I'll go watch Dave Chappelle if he ever comes. I don't care how political he makes it, because he makes it funny.
But he makes fun of all sides.
He
too.
does.
He makes fun of white people. He makes fun of black people. He makes fun of Hispanic people.
What I don't understand is the LGBTQ community not liking him. Because he's actually not, if you really take a step back, he's not really making fun. I mean, he's making fun of them, but in a way, just like he makes fun of white people, he makes fun of conservatives, he makes fun of liberals, he makes fun of
black people too. Like, he makes fun of everyone.
But he does, and he does it in a way that's actually like funny. You're like pointing out the stupidity of whatever it is.
Yes.
The extremes of all of them.
Yes.
And that's the stuff that needs to be made fun of. The extremes. When anyone goes to any extreme, that's not good.
Agree.
Whether it's a left extreme, a right extreme, whether it's any type of extreme, those are bad. Those are what cause problems in this country, is the extremes.
Agree.
If you look, just like in life, and this is my mindset on just life in general, is that moderation is the key to life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that goes with political views. I think that goes with, your diet.
Drinking and eating and everything. Everything's about moderation. Completely
exercise, everything. Yep. There has to be balance in life. And when you go to an extreme on anything, it's not good. You go to extreme on politics, whether it's conservative, liberal, not good. extremes are not bad. That's why there's terms out there called extremists. That's not a good term.
No.
So that's the shit that bugs me. And I, if someone is an extremist, that's why they get offended by Dave Chappelle.
Right.
Or so I was listening to something the other day that I thought was pretty intuitive. Not intuitive. Intuitive, I guess, is probably the right word. But they were talking about something, and I think it was on Mike Rowe's podcast, actually. And they were talking about...
I like him.
Yeah, there was this group on there that was called FIRE. And it was like Freedom Initiative... I don't remember exactly what the FIRE stood for, but the last word was expression. And they just changed it recently because it wasn't originally expression, but now it's expression. And one of the things that they were talking about was this whole concept of you're in a country that is doing so well that the little things are things you can complain about.
Right, that's the whole thing, like first world problems.
Right. And that's kind of the hashtag first world problems is along those same lines. Yeah. And I don't remember the word he used, but it was a great term. And he basically was saying, look, if you're sitting there and you're worried about these little things, if you were to take a step back and look at your life's not that bad. If you're so hung up on, the price of a yogurt, then your life's probably not that bad. If you're sitting in a Starbucks on a $1,000 laptop with free Wi-Fi and
that's a cheap laptop,
a $1,200, well, whatever, and a $1,200 phone,
right? And
you're sitting there tweeting about how oppressed you are when you're on these things, take a step back and sit there and think about the people in these other countries who are truly oppressed. And not to say that there is no oppression in the United States. I'm sure there's tons of it. I'm sure.
Oh, there is. Yeah.
And there's racism in the U.S. There's all these things. But that's not my point. My point is if you can sit there and you can complain about these little things, then overall your life's probably not as
not
bad.
That bad. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
right. Yeah.
And here's the other thing. Like, everyone walking around has $1,000 phone.
Oh, yeah.
They all have, a lot of them have tablets.
Yeah.
A lot of them have laptops. They all have cable at home or some sort of streaming service of some sort. They have these TVs that are 60 inches. They have these, like...
multiple subscriptions.
You're not really wanting for anything.
Right.
And if you're really that bad off, you can cut some shit out of your life and still get by and be happy.
Agree.
Like, those are not necessities. A 60-inch TV is not a necessity.
It's a luxury.
Surround sound is not a necessity. A $1,200 phone it's truly not a necessity.
No. Luxury. They're all luxuries.
You could still get a cheap-ass clamshell phone if you want to.
Clamshell.
Seriously.
I just haven't heard that phrase in a long time.
But you can get that if your excuse for having a cell phone is that you need to be accessible so that you can get a job.
If I show up on the show and I'm carrying like that jitterbug phone, would you totally judge me?
No. I would be like, damn, that guy doesn't give a shit about the things.
No.
The things. All right, let's get to this McKenna.
Yeah, let's get to the McKenna.
So I'm going to get upstairs and get to those damn burnt ends. Where's your clean glass?
This is my clean one. Yep, here.
Have you cleaned your palate?
I'm going to do that meow.
Right, meow?
Yep.
All right, this is our last one, unless we decide to go with the 10-year.
It'll be a time thing. I was just looking at my watch. I don't know what time people are
43,
coming over.
Well, in about
46.
14 minutes. 14 minutes. So, funny story. I'm cutting through the brisket, doing all that. I've got a serrated knife because it just makes it easier for me. It's such a big brisket. It was 10 pounds. And
Costco?
Yeah.
Costco briskets are the best. They're the best.
So, I'm cutting through it. No issues. Go to put the tinfoil over the damn... Cut my finger open. I'm like, seriously, I go through cutting with a knife for 15, 20 minutes, 2 seconds into freaking going into a tinfoil Reynolds wrap, whatever the hell you want to call it.
The serrated thing where you tear
I cut my finger open.
Do you know that you are more likely to cut yourself with a dull knife than a sharp knife?
No, for sure. Because you're going to have to use more force or whatever or something. That doesn't surprise me. I would have never thought that until you said it.
Yeah.
But as soon as you say it, I think, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Because, I like having, nice kitchen knives.
Oh,
you know
what
I mean? And I get fucking irritated when someone's like...
I just bought a whole new set.
If someone, opens a
Funny
packet
story.
of chicken, the plastic with my kitchen knife, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Use scissors.
Yeah, I use the scissors. Yeah, I have meat scissors for
Yeah.
that. So my wife and I,
Ooh, it
my
smells
boss, actually, my current boss, Ami, he bought me a set of knives
good. That's a good fucking
for
gift.
our wedding gift.
That's a great gift.
We finally replaced them just this year. Well, last year, actually.
There's some good German knives out
but
there.
we're in our 15-year anniversary, so we had those for 14 years.
You can't go wrong with a good set of kitchen knives.
And you know, if you suppose the what is it, when you believe in something that's not necessarily true, like it's a mythology.
Oh, okay.
No, not mythology, but like you have a belief that you do something, you never jump on a crack, or
like a superstition.
Thank you. That's
Okay.
the word I couldn't fucking think of. So the superstition of knives as a gift is you don't decline the gift of a knife or knife set because it cuts the relationship.
Oh, okay.
So if anyone ever gives you the gift of knives, you always accept it because if you don't, it cuts the relationship.
Yeah.
So that's the superstition or the old tradition or whatever the hell you want to call it.
Yeah,
so,
a good set of kitchen knives are...
So I just opened this bottle of Henry McKenna 10-year. It's bottled and bond.
Smells fantastic,
and
man. It
so
does.
because it is a single barrel, they're always potentially a little different. And I will say that of all of the single barrel type products that are shelfers, if you want to call this a shelfer, I've always heard Henry McKenna's variance in flavor profiles differs the most. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but I've always heard that. So what do you get on the nose?
It's a... I'd love to know the mash bill on this, but I feel like there's rye in here for sure, like a higher rye mash bill. I can't tell.
It's got a little bit of spice to it, for sure.
I bet Jason listens to this like, nope, wrong.
He'll be
Wrong.
here. He'll be here. He'll be here.
You're fucking wrong.
I don't think they have a high rye at Wild Turkey. Supposedly has a high rye.
They do. They definitely do.
But I don't think McKenna has a high rye.
I don't know what I'm smelling right now. Maybe it's like a grain smell.
I'm getting a little bit of corn.
Maybe that's what I'm mistaking for, like, as a grain.
But I'm getting a little bit of oak as well.
Do you ever just smell something and you enjoy it? You don't know what it is.
Yeah. Oh,
you just enjoy it.
For the first year or so of my bourbon neatness, that's how my flavor profiles were. It was like, I don't know what it is, but I like it.
I went to the Dublin Farmers Market, which really isn't a farmers market, but that's another discussion. It's just like a market out there. But anyway, there was someone selling like soaps and essential oils and shit like that. And I was like, I don't know what this is, but I like it. It was you know what I mean? So it reminds me of that. It's something that I don't know what's in it, but I know I like it.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, I hear you. All right.
Oh, I got a little peanut there.
You going in? Diving in?
Mm-hmm. At first. A lot of peanut. But some sweetness. Like sweet tangy that hits me in like the back sides of my tongue.
Initially, at the front of the tongue, I don't like it.
Really?
But as soon as it like evolves down the back of my tongue and across the sides of my tongue, I enjoy the shit out of this. This might be my favorite, even though on first touch of my tongue, I don't like it.
So I can confidently say that the Russell's 10-year comes in third place. It's not that it's bad, but it's the third place of these three.
Yeah. I'm going to wait and hold off on that for another few drinks on this. This one, I'm thinking this is either first or second for me.
That's why I said I know the Russell's for me is third place, because I'm at a tie right now between the Eagle Rare and the Henry McKenna.
This Russell's is probably 5 years old, and I've heard that their Russell's 10 years have changed a little in the last few years. I don't know if that's true or not.
You've had it that long?
Yes, I have.
Gotcha.
But
well, and so I got to point out the obvious too. This is a little higher in proof. It's not much.
Yeah.
But we do like things that are a little higher in proof.
I was thinking about that
earlier
today.
So that might be what's kind of like edging it over a little bit.
You're 100%
I'm
right
edging.
on that. No, you're... I was thinking the same thing. I'm ignoring that. I was thinking the same thing.
Oh, that's a cork. I couldn't tell if that was a plastic like screw-on cap for a second.
No, it's a cork,
yeah.
But it's a plastic cap attached to the cork. I do enjoy the Henry McKenna bottle.
Oh,
it's short and squat. and I like the label.
It's an
it
old,
almost reminds me of like money,
and it's an old looking label. It does remind you of money. It has
the
like a
greenish
note,
yellow
you know what I mean?
tints.
Like
Yeah,
that note money.
yeah, like the paper.
Even this has a very like monetary
Yeah,
look.
even their tax
Yeah.
thing that goes over the top. It does. It looks like, I don't know. There's something about it I like. Dive back into this. What do you think? What do you think?
God, this is really good.
It is a good. It is a good bottle. I agree with that.
This is where I kind of wish we did this as a blind.
Yeah,
I may have picked this over Eagle Rare. Seriously,
I think I am picking it over Eagle
I
Rare.
think it might be the
it
proof.
feels like it's more complex.
It does. I agree.
There's something in it I cannot put my finger on, but there's also,
And the more I drink it, the better it's getting.
yeah. Well, and we just opened it too. This Eagle Rare was
This is true.
a third empty when we got to it, and it's been a third empty for a while. So it's had a chance to do some oxidation for the proof to change a little bit. These other two, we're getting exactly what it was bottled as.
You've had this for a while. If it was barreled in 2008, which means it would have been
Does it say barreled? Yeah.
barreled in 2008,
So
so
I've
it would
had
have
it
been bottled
probably
in
4 years.
2018.
Well,
So you've had this for a while. Well,
potentially. It could have been bottled in 2019, but they just put 10 years on all of them.
yeah.
But I think I have had it for 3 or 4 years. McKenna was here for a minute. There were it was coming out easily. You were getting it every couple weeks here for a while.
Yeah, I used to be able to pick this up pretty
Yeah,
regularly.
right.
Regularly.
Now
Sorry.
it's tough. And what happened was it won like double gold or something like that in San Francisco. And then I think who was it? The guy that does the yearly best of, he has a book or a magazine or something that comes out. I can't remember his name. It's not Fred Minnick, but he listed it as his #1 bourbon. And when he did that, it just became scarce.
I'm going to derail real quick, if that's okay.
No,
That's our show.
That's
but
our show.
Anyway, so do you know why speaking of Fred Minnick, do you know why Jackie Zykan resigned?
I don't. Do you?
No, it's not like I don't have the answer.
She said it was going to come out in July. She would explain more.
I don't know if...
But she had her going away party. They gave her a cake.
I saw all of that.
And all that stuff. So it can't... I don't think it was not amicable. I don't think
Yeah,
she was fired or anything.
No.
Forced to
I
resign.
think she truly resigned. I don't think anything bad happened.
I agree. There's a lot of stuff that's happened this week. Heaven Hill announced new, I think, co-presidents or something like that. A husband-wife team, I believe, that are now their new presidents. Jackie Zykan resigned, or I think today might have been her last day.
Do you think it's because I
yesterday.
wouldn't go out with her? Do you think that she just couldn't handle the pressure of me turning her down?
I don't think that's how it happened. I'm pretty sure it was you acting like it was a speed dating thing when she was on the show, and she just was deflecting. It was like Wonder Woman with the little, what are those golden, not the golden area, but the things on her wrist that she was blocking
I know
bullets
what
with.
you're talking about.
She was doing that with every one of your questions, and she would just immediately move on. It's probably why she never loosened up on the show either.
Probably
It was because
not.
you just
She
kept,
was wound tighter than a...
well, you kept her on the defense the entire time.
Well, you know me.
Yeah.
I do... So, this is me being, honest. She's a very, from what I gather, a very outdoorsy person.
Oh,
I
very
noticed
much
that
so,
she's
yeah.
traveling, and I wonder if she just wants to travel. I wonder if her job was so consuming that she couldn't, truly enjoy her life.
I want to know if she's going to stay in the spirits industry at all.
Yeah, that...
Is she going to move from Old Forester to somewhere else in Brown-Forman?
Maybe,
Or
I
is
don't
she
know.
going to go to a competitor, and that's why she hasn't said anything yet? But I would imagine she has to have an NDA.
I think she's leaving Brown-Forman only because it showed her with her, Brown-Forman ID badge.
I saw that, and
The RFID, it wouldn't
didn't
dap her
work.
in. Yeah. So that's why I think she's leaving the company.
I think you're right on that. I have no idea. I'm not close enough to her. I'm sure the first person to interview her will probably, and he's probably already done it.
Well, yeah.
It was probably Fred Minnick, because they talk a lot, and I feel like she's done a lot of stuff with him. So he'll probably be the one that breaks whatever the story is. It'll be an episode of his or something.
Oh,
I can imagine anyway. Yeah, I don't know. But there's been a decent little shakeup at a couple things, you know. I mean, this week has been pretty busy, and then Heaven Hill announced their little heritage collection. There was just a lot of stuff that was talked about this week. I can't think of it all off the top of my head, but so all right, gun to your head. How do you rank these three?
I think I'm picking McKenna, Rare, Eagle Rare, and then Russell's.
Yeah, I think I'm the same way.
If you know, it's like on the spot go.
Yeah. I think McKenna, from me, there's some things I can't pinpoint in this bottle, but I think I agree. I feel like it's just more complex. The Eagle Rare is just, it's so unoffensive, but it's also not really jumping out at me either. Does that make sense?
It lacks the complexity. It's good.
Yeah, it's good, and I can sip it, and I could have it any day of the week and be fine with it. No, I would never complain about any of these three.
Absolutely.
But there's something about the McKenna that's just there's some complexity there that I can't pinpoint, and it's good, and I just I like it. And to be honest, I think the last bottle of Henry McKenna that I had, I didn't like as much.
The guy at work had 2 of them, and he was trying, I won't say give them away, but he was like, someone please buy these. I don't like them. I don't want them. And at the time,
to be honest, from what I know, you would give one a try, and then if you didn't like it, give the other one a try.
Yeah.
And then if you don't like them both, I mean,
well, they could have been the same barrel. I don't know.
They might have been. Yeah, but
I did that once. Like, I went to a store that had them out, and I'm like, oh, can I take one of those? You know, they have them on the shelf. And I went back the next day, and they still had them out, and I was like, I'll take another.
Yeah. Of McKenna? Or
McKenna's, just McKenna's, yeah.
How many of those do you have at home?
Just, 1.5.
Yeah. And they're the same barrel?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's good.
Yeah,
so
you got lucky then. That's good.
I don't visit it very often because I like it so well.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you have another bottle to kill the first one.
I know.
Kill it. Put it out of its misery, man.
I go through phases. You know what I mean? I go through phases. So
I do.
There's a couple things I don't want to say forcing myself to drink, but like the Yellowstone, I'm not a big fan of it. So honestly, I'll have something good.
We'll bring it in here. We'll drink it and see if we like it.
The Russel's, right? That Russel's Reserve that I love, that single barrel. I'll drink it, or maybe like 2 of those, and then I'll have the Yellowstone to like finish off and just like try and get rid of it.
See, I would do it the other way around. I would start with the Yellowstone.
And then finish with the Russel's?
Yeah, because you don't want to have something great and then go to something not great.
That's true.
I would go the other way around.
That's true.
That's just me, though.
No,
You're rethinking your whole life right now.
I know. Like, I'm about to just, like, walk out and be like, just throw off the headset. Like, fuck my life. Everything I've known was a lie.
Everything I've known up to this point has been wrong. Oh, shoot. So, all right. We're Tylerless again. Last episode was named The Triumphant Return of Tyler, and then he disappears. What the hell?
It's Tyler. Is he at Lake Erie? Where is he?
No, he's up in Michigan at some.
It looks like a dirty fucking lake. Is the only reason I say that.
It looked like they were actually boating in a sewage factory. What are those called? Like a sewage treatment plant?
Yeah, water treatment plant.
Yeah, like that's where it looked like he was actually boating.
There's a bunch of like pontoon boats like docked together.
And it just looked like shit water.
Yeah, it did. It was
so
very
I don't
dirty.
know what he was doing. He was talking about how tight everything is. It's like he's a 20-year-old
I know, right?
frat boy.
He's like, it's so tight.
It's tight. Oh, you guys don't have anything like this down in Ohio that's this tight. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah,
I was like, that was like a 90s saying.
Right.
Yeah. When I was 20, I was saying the word tight.
Yeah. God, I can't tell you the last time I said like, oh, bro, that's tight.
And I can still remember to this day when I was like in my early 20s, people were still saying tight. So my buddies and I tried to start saying thick as a thing to try to make it go, and it never took off.
Well, like I remember,
we're like, oh yeah, that's thick. That's thick.
Like Austin Powers forever ago being like, oh, it's tight like a tiger. Like we would say that. Like that's how long it's been. Yeah, be like, oh, it's tight like a tiger.
Forever.
It's been forever.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up. Someone just came here, so Brett, go answer the door, and thanks for joining in, guys. And check us out next week. I have no idea what we're gonna do, but Brett's gonna go answer the door, and we're gonna sign off here. Thanks. Thank you for joining in for yet another episode of the Bourbon Hunters. If you like what you hear, please leave us a good rating on Apple, Podbean, Google, or wherever you are listening. It definitely helps us to get great guests on our show. And follow us on Instagram and the Facebooks to keep up to date with what is in our glass. As always, sit back, grab a pour, kick up your feet, and enjoy some bourbon.